The 8-year assault on your Second Amendment freedoms has come to a crashing end. I like taking the guns early. Take the guns first, go through due process second.
Well, I say go fuck yourself. Then ask who question could I kill a man? I would enjoy myself. You can't disguise evil eyes that burn over my head. This devil man and his master plan. We feel so misled, so I say, rise up, take it all back. Rise up, take it all back. Rise up. I hope you all understand. We got to take it all back again.
These people are not going to take it any longer. We will never give up. We will never concede. Our country has had enough. We will not take it anymore. But you have to go home now. We have to have peace. So go home. We love you. You're very special. But go home and go home in peace. The demonstrators who infiltrated the Capitol have defiled the seat of American democracy. You do not represent our country. And to those who broke the law, you will pay.
How y'all doing? How y'all doing? What's up, Gerald? Thank you for being here. Appreciate it. Okay. Excuse me. It is a Tuesday. I went over to YouTube. I was like, oh, why aren't all my subscriptions popping up? Like, I can't find them. Like, I'm sure Mark Dice put out a video. I'm sure this person put out a video. I'm pretty sure this person put out a video as well. And then I remembered I'm on the wrong account. I'm on Poison Stinger 2, and I haven't subscribed to everybody the same way that I did on Poison Stinger 1. And so, yeah. I was like, oh, yeah, by the way, I need to go ahead and appeal that decision, that strike, that what's up, Mule? Need to appeal that strike that YouTube put on my channel. And I was there and I was looking at it. I'm like, I don't really want to. I just don't want to. It's like so tired of it, to be honest. But I finally did. It took me all day, but I finally did. I haven't gotten a response back, and I don't plan on getting it anytime real soon. But I'll probably get one tomorrow, possibly, and it'll probably be denied. But I believe the Friday episode, which is the one that got deleted, I believe I played that clip of Trump talking about the election, and he did straight up use the F word, and I'm not talking about fuck, right? And widespread F word, and I stopped it, immediately stopped it, right? I was like, oh shit. Sure enough, Emily said hello on the big screen tonight. Wow. Well, thank you very much. That's cool. I love watching YouTube on the big screen. I used to do that all the time when when I didn't have this monitor. I used to use my, I think it says 65 inch, 75 maybe. I don't know. It's at least 65 inches. 4K, the whole bit, right? What's up, Trance? How you doing? How is the Mule family doing? I've been watching your videos, been enjoying your videos. Boy, I tell you, they're coming at all angles, aren't they? This is something else. We're counting down. I don't know what the countdown is to, whether it be economic collapse or World War III or secession or whatever it is. Something's coming. We can all smell it. What are all your personal opinions on what's coming? Is it going to be people like, no, I'm not going to get that shot? Is it going to be states saying, no, we're not going to make our people get that shot? Is it going to be something about guns? Is it going to be something about the economy? Is China going to go ahead and just come on in and say, you know what? You guys aren't a superpower anymore. You just let the Taliban dictate. A superpower doesn't allow the Taliban to dictate when we leave an area. But we're doing that. The United Cokes of America. Oh, Riddle, write that down. I'm going to put that on a t-shirt. I don't know if you guys would like it or not. It was my vid. What vid? Oh, yeah, the one that... No, it wasn't you. It wasn't because of you that I got the strike. It was most likely because I played a Trump clip. Most likely. Don't worry about it. Oh, no. To be honest, I'm not expecting to get it overturned, right? It's fine. Me and Mama have been putting together the best care package for your dog. Wow, thank you very much. Dude, when you do send that, please let me know that you sent it and send me a tracking number in the Discord. I would love to make sure that I don't miss that package. Thank you very much for doing that. Appreciate it. All right. So that's pretty much it. I got the stream a little bit finagled. Been working on it a little bit today, but been kind of tired today, to be honest. I got up at 5 o'clock in the morning after going to bed at 2 o'clock in the morning. So I got 3 hours of sleep and, so I was dragging ass. And I did end up having to go back and take a little bit of a nap. But unfortunately, we didn't have any morning muster. But Irish is under the weather right now. So it is what it is. All right. This is the new layout. Thank you. I appreciate it, Anonymous. This is the new layout for now. I think I might change it later on. In fact, I really wish I had known that that's where the chat cut off right there. So you guys don't mind, do you? I'm just gonna do a little light editing right here. Yeah. Where's that at? Can I move that? Can I have that? No? Why? Oh, because it's in that thing. Okay, cool. Now, can I have that? All right, here we go. You just got notified? This is why I have a countdown. Oh, I mean, it's not the only reason I have a countdown, but it's one of them. Yeah, why not? I guess we'll just do it like that. I need to adjust that later. Okay, Biden, caves. Do you still... No. Did you steal a stop sign? Me? Never. No, that was that's been there before all the time. It's usually on the slow, but I changed it back. I got that in Texas. That's a memento from Texas. No, I'm not going out and hacks on stop signs, but I didn't pay much for it. Let's just say that. But Biden caves to the Taliban's threats and sticks to the August 31st Afghanistan withdrawal. He has decided to stick with his deadline next week for the completing of the U.S. led evacuation from Afghanistan, an administration official said on Tuesday. The decision reflects a growing fear of extremist attacks at the Kabul airport, but also opens Biden up to domestic political complaints of caving to Taliban demands and potentially leaving some Americans and Afghan allies behind. Now, I don't remember what show of Fox it was. It might have been Ingram for all I remember, but I know that which senator is that? Lindsey Graham, right? Rhino in chief. He's over there preaching that if even one American gets left behind, then Biden should be impeached. And if a whole bunch, he didn't say what number, but if a whole bunch of our friends over there didn't make it out, then he should be impeached as well. What's the likelihood of that happening? The Taliban spokesman speaking prior to the word of Biden's decision said anew that the militant group would oppose any extension of the August 31st deadline. It has allowed the airlift to continue without major interference. Pressure from the U.S. allies, Democratic and Republican lawmakers, veteran groups, and refugee organizations has grown for Biden to extend his deadline, which he set well before the Taliban completed its lightning takeover of Afghanistan on August 15th. It remains unclear whether the airlift from Kabul's international airport can get out all American citizens and other foreigners by next Tuesday, as well as former translators and other at-risk Afghans who fear for their lives under Taliban rule. Maybe he's dyslexic. Maybe he saw the plan and it said, get all the non-combative people out, destroy all your gear, and then pull out your military. Maybe he just dyslexic that and did it in opposite, in reverse. Some Republicans bristled Tuesday at Biden's compliance with the Taliban's edict. We need to have the top priority to tell the Taliban that we're going to get all of our people out, regardless of what timeline was initially set, said Steve Scalise, a Louisiana Republican. Representative Adam Schiff of California, chairman of the House Intelligence Committee, told reporters after a committee briefing on Monday on the Afghanistan withdrawal that it was hard for me to imagine wrapping up the airlifts by the end of the month. He also said that it was clear that they had begun He also said it was clear there had been any number of warnings to the administration of a very rapid takeover by the Taliban. There had been any number of warnings. So Biden said he didn't know. Oh, we didn't know. We weren't planning on this. We didn't know. Well, Shift, somebody in your own party, I don't like, just came out and kind of screwed you over there, Biden. Biden asked his national security team to create contingency plans in case a situation arose for which the deadline needed to be extended slightly, the official said. The Pentagon spokesman, John Kirby, said August 31st leaves enough time to get all Americans out, but he was less specific about completing the evacuation of at-risk Afghans. Well, they're on their own. See, this is what you get for helping the Americans. We believe we have the ability to get it done by the end of the month, he said, referring to the unspecified number of American citizens who are seeking to leave. He said hundreds were evacuated on Monday and that several thousands have gotten out since the airlift began. He wouldn't be more specific. U.S. repeatedly stressed the risk of continuing the airlift due to threats of violence by the Islamic State groups of Afghanistan affiliate. Germany's top military commander, General Zorn, what a name. That sounds like a freaking villain in like a video game or some shit. I had a Bitcoin translator in Iraq. If they did him like Joe did Afghanistan Terps, I'd do bad things to get them out. Sad. Use them and lose them is the current administration motto. Yeah, pretty much. Well, you being a military person, they don't value you much more. I I know when I was a kid, I wanted to get into the military. I didn't have any family. Well, my dad was Army in Vietnam. I don't believe he ever went to Vietnam, but he was in the Army during that time. But we don't have like a long history of military tradition. I wasn't raised to be, some sort of in the military kind of guy. And I was, big as a kid, so there was just no way they were ever going to accept me. I don't understand everybody's reasons for getting into the military, to be honest, but the way they screw our veterans over, somebody needs to have a talk to these kids before they go into the recruiting office and let them know how much of a dick move it is to get some medication from the VA, right? Just my opinion on that. I'm glad the people that go. I know a lot of people go for the right reasons, but maybe somebody needs to get these kids talked to. The U.S. ramped up its round-the-clock airlift evacuees from Afghanistan to its highest level yet on Tuesday. About 21,600 people were flown out in 24 hours. That compares with about 16,000 the previous day. 37 U.S. military flights, 32 C-17s, and 5 C-130s carry about 12,700 evacuees. An additional 8,900 people flew out aboard 57 flights by U.S. allies. Biden had considered, I bet he didn't, whether to extend his self-imposed deadline, taking into account the continued security threats by extremist groups in the Afghan capital, the Taliban's resistance to the extension, and the prospect of that not all Americans and at-risk Afghan allies could be evacuated by next Tuesday. Well, I think Joe's scared of the tally. Did you write that down, Riddle? Yep. Okay, good. Because I'd already forgotten what it was. At a news conference in Kabul, Taliban spokesman Majidijad said Tuesday his group will accept no extensions of the deadline. Letting the Taliban dictate our military strategy is absolutely a disgrace, said Republican Senator John Cornyn of Texas. It is. World superpowers don't back down to Taliban or anybody, really. If it was fucking China who said, no, you're going to continue to do this at this pace, and I would expect that we're like, fuck you, we'll do it as we want. Come get you some if you want, if you think you're so big and bad. We have a commitment to every American and Afghan ally to get them out safely. No one should be left behind because of an arbitrary self-imposed deadline based on a campaign promise. Later, Tuesday, Kirby, the Pentagon spokesman, said the military we need at least several days to fully withdraw its several thousand troops and their equipment from Kabul. Are we getting any of our equipment back? I'd be surprised. NATO partners and other countries say they will have to shut down their own evacuations if the U.S. withdraws the 5,800 troops it has flown in to run and protect the massive airlifts out. So, are we going to screw over our allies twice? That'd be great. British Defense Minister Ben Wallace said earlier that no country would have time to complete evacuations by August 31st. Prime Minister Boris Johnson, who had pressed Biden's via an emergency virtual G7 leaders meeting Tuesday to stay, said British evacuations will go right up until the last moment that we can. Amid the tension operation to get people out of the country, CIA Director William Burns secretly swooped into Kabul on Monday to meet with the Taliban's top political leader, Abdul something or another. Wow. Yeah, and then it's been confirmed. 2020 deal struck by President Trump and the Taliban initially set a May deadline for U.S. troops to fully withdraw from Afghanistan. After nearly 20 years of war there, Biden extended the deadline to August 31st, but is adamant he too wants to end the U.S. military role in Afghanistan. He is rejecting criticism following the Taliban's sudden conquest of the country this month and the collapse of the U.S.-backed government and military. With access to the airport still dangerous, U.S. helicopter crews have been carrying out sorties beyond the airport wall to retrieve evacuees, including 16 Americans on Monday. I didn't see the picture, but I heard that women were handing their babies to American soldiers over a fence, hoping that they can get them out. My goodness. What a cluster. What an absolute cluster. I would have vowed, yeah, but I would have handle myself. Those interpreters rely on us for their safety. Yeah. My dad was in Korea. He said it was on a point system. He only needed 2 more points to rotate back to the States when they stopped the fighting. Said he got stuck there for 18 months. I think my dad was part of the cafeteria, like the chow thing, or food commissary. I don't know what do you call that? Man, that's awful. My translator had his wife killed, kids stolen to Baghdad because before U.S. came, he talked crap about Saddam. He taught me 800 words in Arabic. How many curse? Were the first one curse words? It's always the first ones are curse words. And opened the door for my Arabic training in the USMC. Wow, that's cool. Where is he now? Or can you not say? Oh man, that's awful. I don't know how to. Yeah. Eventually, I became my own interpreter. Wow. And you have no clue how much easier that makes things. I bet it does. White boy speaking Arabic helped me bridge the gap. I can imagine. That thing is he had a load for the next day that would have given him the 2 points. Oh, did he got? I don't think I knew that. Your dad died in Korea? Would have given him 2 points as he was a truck driver hauling a reefer full of food to the front line. Man. Sorry to hear that. It must have been you must have been pretty young, I would imagine, when that happened, huh? Well, looks like Airbnb is opening up housing for 20,000 refugees globally. Airbnb opened the doors of its properties to 20,000 Afghan refugees globally Tuesday and sought assistance from hosts who rent properties through the home sharing company for more free housing. Free housing. Oh, would you open it up for some? No. Sorry, no. People aren't paying the rent as it is. The displacement and resettlement of Afghan refugees in the U.S. and elsewhere is one of the biggest humanitarian crises of our time. We feel responsibility to step up, said CEO Chesky on Twitter. I hope this inspires other business leaders to do the same. There's no time to waste. The UN Refugee Agency said last month that an estimated 270,000 Afghans had been newly displaced inside the country since January, primarily due to insecurity and violence, bringing the total uprooted population to over 3.5 million. White House officials said 28 U.S. military flights ferried out about 10,400 people to safety out of the Taliban-held Afghanistan over 24 hours that ended Monday morning. We all know that. Airbnb has a history of making free shelter to those who need it. Airbnb.org. Since 2012, Airbnb has housed 75,000 people fleeing or responding to crisis from the sniffles. Healthcare workers and earthquake or fire evacuees or responders or refugees. Hosts are allowed to sign up for the program through Airbnb.org. If you're willing to host that, you can go check it out right there. And it operates in about 100,000 cities in almost every country and region across the world. I don't know. I'm a pretty nice guy, I think. I don't know. Maybe I'm a dick. I think I'm a dick at a distance, and I'm nice up close, right? Because, I see somebody in need and I want to help. But at the same time, if we're going to let all these thousands and thousands of Afghans in our country, and I would imagine most of them are great, you're still going to have a few that aren't. Just like any invading force. What's up, Quantum? How you doing? I can swear in French. That's about it. I have a couple Spanish words that I can use. He's helping U.S. troops still by translating for them to help train Iraqi soldiers. So he's in Iraq still? Huh. Oh, your dad died 9 years ago. Okay, so he never got his 2 points to get out of Korea? The sad thing is that he had a load for the next day that would have given him the 2 points. It made it sound like he didn't make it back to the States, bro. Just saying. Honestly, Riddle, it's because IRS all he has left and doesn't want another government for his kids' future. They're still alive. He still never found them. Ooh. If they're still alive, he never found them. Yeah. I would imagine he has nothing left. You lose your family, you've lost everything. I don't care how wealthy you are. If we drop them off in Mexico, they're just gonna be up here in the next month, bro. If you don't want them here, you got to drop them off in Cuba. We're not allowing any immigrants from Cuba right now. Ended up there for 18 months. Well, Iraq, I mean, it's a big place, but it's not like as big as the United States. Is there Facebook? I have no idea with that. But good luck to him, man. How long has he been looking for him? I'm sure it's been years, right? Trump files for injunction to reinstate his YouTube account as part of big tech lawsuit. Well, that'd be nice. I really do hope that something comes of this. I'm not extremely optimistic about it, but I'm very hopeful. President Trump on Tuesday filed a preliminary injunction against YouTube as part of a sweeping class action lawsuit that targets the 3 top tech companies for their partisan censorship. The American people and truth itself are under attack by big tech's unlawful and communist-style censorship. A fucking man. I'm a little bitter. Trump said in a statement on Tuesday, "We filed an historic class action lawsuit because every American deserves to have their First Amendment rights protected." Well, maybe you should have done something about Section 230 while you're in office. Now destroyed by leftist radicals in Silicon Valley. In addition to targeting YouTube's parent company Google and its CEO, Pachachi, Trump also plans to take action against Facebook and Twitter. According to the press release from Trump-backed American First Policy Institute, Tuesday's action was intended to force the reinstatement of Trump's YouTube channel. The case will present a clear set of facts that show big tech is working with and being coerced by the federal government to censor and eliminate the voices of millions of Americans. If that is true, then that is a massive violation of the First Amendment. You cannot tell a private company to do something that you yourself cannot do. That is still against the First Amendment. Bondi is the former Attorney General of Florida where the lawsuit was filed. By taking this action against the defendants, President Trump and the men and women of the class will restore hope and faith in the justice system. We'll see. Trump initially announced the lawsuit in July, and it has since garnered more than 85,000 class action participants. I guess I need to go back and check that out again. We must fight back, he said Tuesday's statement. They are destroying our country. There is nothing more important than our right to free speech. Yeah, I would have really liked to seen you do something about that while you were actually a president. Maybe in 2024. I'll have, Riddle, can you write that down? Remind me to go join that class action lawsuit too. Anybody in this chat, if you have a YouTube channel and you've had issues with it because of all this bullshit, I would suggest that you do it as well. He still has hope, but realizes it's unlike an extra 7 months. Miracles happen every day. It does. Maybe. Hope for the best. That's a brave SOB. Talk shit in a dictatorship about the dictator is dumb and a brave and all in one. Well, yeah. That is true. Especially there. Like, still here, still to this day, I can talk like Biden is a dick. I can't, come out with a threat, but I can tell you that he's this, and this. He's stupid. He's retarded. He's fucking Alzheimer's. He's wrinkly as all hell. He's a child sniffer. I can go on and on. I'll probably get demonetized. Well, I'm already demonetized, but let's say I wasn't. I'd probably get that video, if nothing else, demonetized, restricted, all those things, right? But they'd at least let it play. But yeah, it's still against freedom of speech. Freedom of speech isn't it isn't freedom of speech that you agree with. The reason we didn't need to make an amendment to have the right to talk about stuff we all agree about or that the people in power agree about, right? Saddam Hussein had plenty of things that you had the freedom to talk about. How great his hair looked that day, how beautiful the palace was, how he was killing the economy, like in a good way, you know? It's when you go against it. It's the speech that you don't like. That's the reason why we have the first fucking amendment. Nobody fucking realized that. Well, we shouldn't have hate speech. No, we should have all speech. What about, fire in a crowded theater? Yes. Yes, I think you should be able to yell fire in a crowded theater without a fire being there. However, if you cause panic, which you will, and you cause all that stuff, then you're endangering the public. That's different than not being allowed to say it. There's consequences to your words, and when you break the law, like, creating a panic, then yeah, but you still have the right to say it. Let's get in some trouble with this one. Lawyer Mark Ellis exit firm amid speculation on Durham report. Dubbed Democrats' best election Darfin lawyer by former President Trump, Steele dossier mastermind Mark Ellis has splintered off his longtime firm, Perkins Coie, or Cole, I don't know. Ellis, along with 11 partners and 3 counsel from the leftist law firm, announced the formation of the Ellis Law Group. So they're starting their own. According to the firm's slogan listed above its Twitter page, we help Democrats win. I bet you do. Oh, I bet you do. We saw a lot of Democrats win in last election. We help citizens vote, even the dead ones. Now, see, that was false. It was fake. Dead people don't vote. At least they don't show up to the polls to vote. You can't even have comedy anymore. Have you guys watched comedy since all this shit? I go back to older comedy, and it's just, God, they could say that back then. You start forgetting about all the things that people would talk about in comedy back in the day. We help progressives make change. However, the surprise departure fueled speculation that the move could be designed to shelter either Ellis himself or the law firm from liability as his nefarious political schemes fall under new scrutiny. Come shortly after Ellis and 2 other Perkins Coie lawyers were sanctioned by the Fifth Circuit Court of Appeals for failing to disclose a prior ruling in a challenge to Texas straight ticket voting rules. The sanction said Ellis had violated his duty of candor to the court for ensuring a redundant and misleading submission in a request that previously had been overruled by a different judge. However, Breitbart speculated that the real reason for the departure could be related to the much more significant role Ellis played in the Russia collusion hoax stemming from the Hillary Clinton defeat with the Russian dossier. Oh, and you can say Hillary Clinton won the 2016 election all fucking day. All day. I could sit here. Trump stole the election from Hillary Clinton in 2016. It was Russia. They got in there. They helped Trump steal the election away from what would have been our first female president, the greatest of all time, Hillary Rodham Clinton. I can say that all day. Why can't I say that about last one? Could I say that one about maybe Bush? Both Bushes? Maybe Reagan. Reagan didn't win. Carter won. Reagan had widespread fraud that caused Carter to lose in 1980 or 81. Okay, I'm going off now. The dead ones do the mail-in votes? Yeah, I figured. If a person casts an early ballot but dies before the election, should that vote count? In my opinion, yeah. That's a rare instant. Maybe not too rare, but old comedy is the best. George Carlton, I like some of his stuff. As a Christian, the anti-God stuff is like, but the anti-government stuff, I'm all about. Keychain stylist. What? Oh, depends on how long before the election he dies. No, if he fills it out, as I'm saying, as I read it, if he fills out the vote, right, and he signs it, which you don't have to do anymore, and he put it in the envelope and he mailed it off, and then he went out to go out to eat and died in a car accident, yes, I think his vote should count. Perkins Coie represented both the Democratic National Committee and the Clinton campaign. It was also Ellis who personally commissioned ex-British spy Steele, since debunked opposition research from the firm Fusion GPS. The firm then used back-channel connections to disseminate it to the top brass of the FBI, who in turn are suspected to have leaked it to the media. And which FBI agents did that, and why are they not fired? See, here's the thing. Everybody's got dirt on everybody else, right? So nobody really gets in trouble. Every once in a while, somebody will get in a little trouble. You see Cuomo getting ousted, right? But I'm sure they had a meeting. Like, you know what? He has dirt on all of us. We're all gonna just give him a good talking to. We're gonna give him some money and just tell him, it's for the it's for the good of the party and stuff like that. But most of the time, I don't think these people get ousted because they got dirt on others, including Republicans and Democrats. Following Trump's exoneration of the 2-year-long special counsel investigation led by Robert Mueller and a series of damning Inspector General reports implicating the FBI in procedural abuses, then Attorney General William Barr appointed then U.S. Attorney John Durham in May 2019 to probe possible criminality on the other side, which they've closed. Barr designated the Durham as special counsel in the aftermath of the 2020 election, allowing him to extend the probe into the Biden administration without substantial partisanship interference and grant him the power to impanel a grand jury for any indictment. Yada, yada, yada. Thus far, only one low-level FBI attorney, Kevin Kleinsmith, has been charged. Only one. You really think only one of those motherfuckers did anything wrong? I'm pretty sure it was more than one. I got way too much light on my face. Let's see. He was found to have altered an the thing that would have gotten him off. Email from the CIA that acknowledged Trump advised Carter Page's role as an informant. Durham has been rumored to be in the final stages of his probe, with the report expected to be filed in a matter of weeks. Really? I thought they'd quash that. Along with possible indictments for other low-level FBI, it's always low-level FBI officials. However, the decision likely rests with the radical leftist attorney Merrick Garland whether to make the full report public. Regardless, constitutional scholar Jonathan Turley said many deep staters within the D.C. swamp were on edge about what Durham's report may say. Even if they are not indicted, Durham could implicate some of the most powerful figures in politics in its final report, Tully wrote in a recent blog. That includes Ellis, who repeatedly lied to the media and may be implicated in advising Clinton campaign officials, including John Podesta, to lie to Congress about their role in funding the dossier. Well, if you lie to Congress, it's the same as lying to the FBI. You should be going to jail for 10 years for that. However, Ellis, like the Clintons, has only been emboldened by the controversy surrounding him, including because they have the back. They know they have everything, man. They have Twitter, they have Facebook, they have Google, they have YouTube. They're not worried. Their guy is in power. Their system is power. Trump didn't drain enough swamp. He didn't drain any swamp. Bill McGinley, a former advisor to Trump and Senate Republicans, warned that the move from Perkins could be a means to give Ellis and his team more room to engage in political tactics prior to the 2022 midterms, alienating the law firm's corporate clients. Basically, what this means is he's going to be able to be more aggressive in some of the things that he does on behalf of the outside groups for the Democratic Party. McClellan warned on Stephen Bannon's War Room podcast. He advised Republicans to remain clear-eyed about the maneuvers so as not to be caught flat-footed and forced into a reactive position, as what happened in 2020. I don't know how anybody was taken surprised by what happened in 2020. Everybody knew, even Trump came out, this is going to be the worst one ever, it's going to have the most DARFing ever. Okay, you still weren't prepared for it. Turley noted that the corrupt attorney brazenly listed campaign finance disclosure and ethics as two of the specialities for his practice. Financial disclosure and ethics. Nice. What am I, a pansy who needs a stylist? Nah, I'll type. I like how I'll typo. The right tool for the right job is not about being right. I'm just gonna use a hammer to take this nut off this bolt. Would it make it better if the stylus was shaped like a cartridge? Yes, it would. That would be pretty cool. Or the built-in stylus but can be used in public. Oh, that's funny. The only time I use a stylus is on my Wii U when playing Mario Maker. Wow. I never got a Wii U. I did have the Wii, and I'm looking at maybe buying the new one, the Switch or whatever, just because I do play games on Twitch, and Mario games are pretty fun, pretty safe to play. 10 states leading the economy recovery all have one thing in common. The economy continues to recover from the sniffles and ongoing government restrictions, but newly released Labor Department data shows that the recovery isn't equal across all 50 states. Washington, D.C., some parts of the U.S. almost or entirely returned to the pre pandemic unemployment rates, while others remain strangled in stagnation. Well, looks like Texas isn't doing too well. Arizona's doing good. New York's doing good for some reason. Okay. Here are the 10 states with the lowest unemployment rates as of July 2021: Nebraska, Utah, New Hampshire, South Dakota, Idaho, Vermont, Alabama, Oklahoma, Montana, Georgia. Okay, so it's the green ones. All right. Many different factors influence unemployment rates, but there's one glaring thing these 10 states all have in common: Republican governors. Centralized GOP led states had lighter government lockdowns on their economies and reopened sooner. So, too, except for Vermont, these states have all prematurely terminated the ongoing supplemental unemployment benefits that can pay unemployed households up to $25 an hour, more than what many workers made at their previous jobs. Yeah, if you're making $15 an hour flipping burger and you're getting $25 an hour for sitting on your ass at home, you sitting on your ass at home. Holy crap, we lost everybody. Well, not everybody. We got a few hardcores. In a stark contrast, here are the 10 worst states with the highest unemployment rate. Oh, Arizona. Okay, so the red ones are the bad ones. Yeah, I'm not horribly surprised. We did close down a lot of shit. Arizona, Louisiana, Pennsylvania, Washington, Illinois, Hawaii, New Jersey, California, New Mexico, and New York, Nevada. With the exception of Arizona, yeah, Arizona does supposedly have a Republican governor. These states struggling with a high unemployment all have Democratic governors or mayors in the case of DC. All right. That's all I'm going to read about that. This is bullshit. This is bullshit. You need a power bank? Game Boy, DSi, 3D. We did have 3DSs back in the day. Man, that was so fucking cool when that first came out, the 3DS. And of course, I had to get my daughter one. Super Nintendo. You got them all. You also have a gaming PC with Steam. Hey, Anonymous, hit me up on Steam, bro. Let's be friends. I think it's Batch Smeagol right now on Steam. Hold up, one damn second. We gotta fix this. Where is it? There we go. This will be for everybody in the chat. If you're in the chat, you have Steam, you play games once in a while, you want to play games with me sometime, check me out on Steam. Tomorrow night, I'm actually going to be playing Call of Duty Warzone with a couple guys on Twitch. I'm not really good at the game, but I like the game, and if you like that, you might enjoy it. Let's see. All right. Took a while to load, but here it is. That right there is my friend code. If you put that friend code into Steam, you'll find my profile. You can send me a friend request, and I will most likely accept it. Washington State transplant patients are removed from their waiting list for refusing their shot. The University of Washington Medical Center has reportedly told 2 patients awaiting organ transplants that they would have to be placed further down on their respective lines over their refusal to get the shot. Sam Allen, 64, told Seattle radio station that he was informed in June that he was being removed from the transplant list after his refusal to get the shot. Allen said he had been on the list for more than 2 years, according to that news station. Allen said his heart was damaged during a previous surgery, and 3 leaky heart valves lessened the amount of blood reaching his lungs, making it hard to breathe. The problem first arose over Allen's refusal to wear a face mask during his hospital visit, saying it made his breathing problems even worse. Which you would think that they would understand that since they are a hospital. Even when this first lit off, they're like, unless you have a medical condition. Well, if you have a medical condition, well, we can the stores, right? The grocery stores. If you have a medical condition, you don't have to wear it. But now we allow you to get curbside. So if you have that medical condition, just don't come in the store and we'll bring it to your car. Well, they don't have that option for a fucking doctor. The cardiologist called me and we had a discussion and he informed me that, well, you're going to have to get a shot to get a transplant. And I said, that's news to me. A letter Allen received from the hospital shortly after states your name has been removed from the wait list at the University of Washington Medical Center. This was done in follow up to your recent conversation with providers regarding the Here Transplant Section Committee's concerns about compliance with the sniffles related policies and recommendations. The letter added that Allen would be reconsidered for reinstatement should the compliance concerns resolve in the future. A second patient, Derek Kovic, is awaiting a third? You can get more than one transplant? A third liver transplant due to bile duct failure, and was also told by the hospital he would have to receive the shot to remain high on the active list. Both Kovic and Allen told news outlets that they are hesitant to get the shot because of the side effects. Kovic, Kovic told Fox News because of his liver problems, they have already suffered from high fevers and other problem people have reported after receiving the shot. The University of Washington's Medical Center responded to their story, saying immunity suppression becomes an issue shortly after the transplant. The safety of our patients is our primary focus and guides discussions with our patients preparing to receive solid organ transplants, knowing that they will be on medications that suppress their immune systems after the transplant, he stated. Our physicians make a determination regarding shot recommendations and requirements, including the sniffle shot, based on the risk factors of the individual patient and degree of they will experience immunosuppression. Yeah. The sniffle shots are safe, although it may be less effective in transplant patients. Wait a minute. It might be less effective in transplant? It's pretty not effective now. How many people have already gotten the sniffles once and now got it again? How many people got the shot and now still have the sickness? They are more effective than if not getting it at all. They added the post-transplant patients who are typically immune suppressed to ensure the transplant is successful should work with their physicians to best proceed. Fuck you. Wow, we got a lot of shit. I'm going to try to run through this real quick because we losing people. Yeah. What sucks, right? What's your Steam name? Add me. I gave you the code. Does that work? If not, I'll copy that. Savage by Blood. Fuck, dude, that's a badass fucking name. I need to get a better name on Steam for real. Oops. I'll have to do it later. Oh man, refusing to get life-saving transplants. Yep. Which sucks because as y'all know, I have pulmonary hypertension. Right now I don't need a transplant, but eventually in a few years when I start having real issues, they're going to want to put me on a transplant list, and I would like to be put on a transplant list. And there's good and bad with that, right? If I get a transplant and my body accepts it, then my disease is cured because it all starts in the lungs, right? My heart will start going back to normal. I'll probably live a long time. But the problem with transplants is it can be rejected at any time for any reason. And when it comes to your lungs, I mean, you kind of have to breathe. You have a few minutes maybe after your lungs stop working that, oh, guess I'm dying. But if that's still going on by the time I need the lung transplant, then I guess that's it, bruh. I guess that's it. You're calling it now. The mandate will be the straw that breaks the camel back. Those who don't want to get it. This is where most won't budge, and things are going to get scary. This isn't the first time, though. Now we do. It is a different time in history because we have ways to communicate a lot faster. Even though they will take you down off of platforms, it takes them a minute, right? So there's a lot of people gonna get the word out when this shit comes down. Now, the past ones, people did not want to get the shots. Like if you're talking about smallpox and stuff like that, people didn't want to get that shot. And here's the thing, they mandated it. But you know how easy it was to not accept the mandate and just like, fuck you, I ain't taking it. It was so fucking easy. Why? Because we didn't have tracking devices in our pockets. Now we all have tracking devices in our pockets. We all have social security cards. Everybody knows where we are. I would imagine if you have a person's first and last name, you could pretty much find out where they live easily enough. So avoiding it now with where we're at in history today, I don't think it's going to be very easy to do. But maybe people either complied with the old ways or they just didn't because the government didn't know everybody that lived in their country at the time. I know that many will walk out from jobs if mandated. Even mama has a backup job lined up. She could get the get it or go about the shot eventually. 3 others are walking if that happens. You definitely need to prepare for it because that's a big step. They're trying to send all employees where I work back to the office. I'm in the process of getting an exception so I can remain working from home. Well, the great thing is you can always say, well, your husband is high risk because technically I am. Just wait 10 months to 2 years when fertility rates come out. People who get the shots are getting sick more. Maybe. CDC director said today all new cases in Maine are of the Delta. Well, of course. And how do you test for the Delta? That's what you need to ask your doctor, Gerald. Well, no, that's your CDC director. But seriously, next time any one of you, and this is your homework, I expect you to come back with answers. I want if you go see a doctor and they start talking about the sniffles, I want you to ask them about the Delta variant. And if they say yes, it's running rampant, then ask them, how do we know? Do we have tests that test for the Delta? Because I haven't heard of any tests that test for the Delta yet. So is it? Takes a long blood test that needs to be sent out. Takes months, so I doubt they truly know what it is. Yeah, 94% of the new cases are the unshotted people. That still means 6% of the new cases are hospitalized and are shotted. Well, you had the governor of, is it Texas? That got it again after being fully vaccinated? Just saying. Abbott's going to increase the National Guard to secure the border in the wake of ongoing border. Yeah, so that's good. How many are going? How many? Members of the Guard will aid the construction. Ooh. Abbott has authorized the National Guard to enforce state laws, including arresting people who have crossed the border illegally and violated Texas law. Members of the Guard will aid in the construction of the border wall, which Abbott's plans to complete with a mix of state and private funding after President Biden routed the funds secured under Trump's administration. So far, the Guard members present have been essential to slowing immigration and protecting small towns, especially those near the border. According to Abbott, Texas National Guard is playing an unprecedented role to secure the border because of the unprecedented refusal of the federal government to fulfill its obligations under federal law. It would rather do things that it doesn't have obligations under federal law, which is supposed to be up to the states. Yet, despite the state's best efforts, more funding is still needed, especially in the absence of federal leadership. The governor also urged officials to push the Texas Congress on its special sessions to direct funding to the border. All right. Last month, more than 212,000 people attempted to illegally cross Texas southern border. Wow. The highest since 2000. What the hell happened in 2000? The summer of 2000 that made them come so much. Clinton was still in, right? And then Bush was coming in at the end of the year, or yeah, Bush came in 2001. Well, I mean, he actually started 2001, like in January, right? Okay. Mississippi plans 5-year jail terms for those who do not isolate themselves when they are sick with the sniffles. So if you don't isolate yourself, we're gonna put you in a very crowded area with a lot of inmates. I'm surprised by this. I would have thought it wouldn't have been Mississippi, but apparently it is. Mississippi will punish anybody who fails to isolate with sniffles within a 5-year prison sentence. In addition, the state plans to fine residents who violate the lockdown order $5,000. The state's leading health official, Thomas Dobbs, seized the authority to issue sweeping and unconstitutional diktats without the cooperation of any of the real branches of government. Why does everybody think they're a king nowadays? Thank you, Trump, given I don't know where it all started, but first time I ever saw it was when the ATF is like, yeah, unilaterally, bump stocks are now fully automatic. How? The law that was passed by Congress and done constitutionally, unfortunately, that said what a fully automatic was and why we couldn't have it was one pull of the trigger in multiple rounds. There are other guns. There's a 22 that has one trigger, 2 barrels, and 2 rounds go when you pull that one trigger. That should be a machine gun, but the ATF is not worried about that because it's a little 22 pistol, no big deal. But when it comes to the bump stock, you're still pulling that trigger every damn time. The rare breed trigger, you're pulling that trigger every damn time. But now we can just go ahead and unilaterally say, well, no, it's actually not one pull of the trigger, it's one function of the trigger. Okay, what about those what kind of echo triggers? What about echo triggers? Binaries, right? All persons, including fully shotted individuals. If you've had all your shots and then you still got the sniffles, you must remain at home or other appropriate residential locations for 10 days from the onset of the illness. The medical doctor further added to his political power by arbitrarily imposing a fine and imprisonment for simply failing to obey the commands of any health officer. The failure or refusal to obey the lawful order, bullshit, of a health officer is at a minimum a misdemeanor punishable by a fine of $500 or imprisonment for 6 months or both, he claimed. But if a citizen fails to obey the doctor's political orders in the case that the disease is life-threatening, which apparently includes sniffles, he will be hit with a much steeper penalty. For instance, the offender would be hit with a fine up to $5,000 or imprisonment 2 or up to 5 years or both. In order to escape the mandatory self-isolation, any sick citizen must be fever-free for 24 hours and display improved symptoms. Wow. Mississippi school employees and students must also abide by the order. Doctor statements echoes a similar order issued at this time last year by the state's health department. In August 2020, it invented a measure commanding a self-isolation of 14 days. Dobbs' reckless power grab is molded upon Biden's administration's sniffle czar, Anthony Fauci's similarly ambitious scheme to deliver political power into the hands of medical professionals, like the CDC. Now the CDC can get you in trouble. How many freaking law enforcement agencies do we need? This has got to fucking stop. Fauci expects an uptick now that the FDA okayed the Pfizer. By the way, if you didn't know that, I think we covered that yesterday. The FDA has fully allowed Pfizer to go along. It's fully done. So expect your mandates. Approved. That's what I was thinking of. He's hoping for an uptick in the administration of sniffle shots following the U.S. government approval for the Pfizer. Yep. Cuomo, we're going to go over this real quick. Cuomo gives clemency. Okay, so which means I think he allowed him out of jail, right? It's like that. What do you call it? You can let people out of jail at the end of your thing. Or actually, I guess you could do it all the time, but they always do it right at the end. To a driver in a deadly brink heist. Are you talking about like an armored truck? So this motherfucker was the getaway driver in an armored truck robbery. And apparently people died. And he let him out on clemency? Hours before leaving office, Cuomo on Monday granted clemency to 6 people, including the driver, in a fatal 1981, okay, that was pretty old, armored truck robbery. Whose release was championed by his son, San Francisco's top prosecutor. Wow. San Francisco's top prosecutor is the son of somebody who was a driver in a fatal 1981 armored truck robbery. David Gilbert, 76, is serving a life sentence for his role in the bungled 1981 bank robbery of North New York City, a bloody heist involving leftist there you go, leftist revolutionaries that left a guard and 2 police officers dead. He is among the last surviving people still imprisoned in the 1.6 million robbery, often seen as the last gasp of the 60s radicalism. In 1981? Holy shit. Though Cuomo's action, he will be referred to the state parole board for potential release. Under a sentence, he wouldn't have been eligible for parole until 2056. He would be dead. In a news release, Cuomo's office said that while locked up, Gilbert had made significant contributions to AIDS education and prevention programs, and worked as a tutor, law, library clerk, paralegal assistant, teacher's aide in areas. He's probably fucking institutionalized as all hell, too. Gerbert's son, San Francisco District Attorney Chesa Bondi, said his heart is bursting and it also aches for the families of the 3 victims. Why does that sound like a girl's name? I mean, he is in San Francisco. Was he born a woman? Maybe. How do they even know? Gerald, it takes long. Okay. We do have a test, but it's a blood test. Sent to the CDC. It takes 2 months to get the results. Okay, cool. Well, now I know not to talk about that in the same way. Most doctors are assuming that it's the Delta. He said they are working close with Jackson Labs, and Jackson Labs is here in Maine. Holy shit. And I thought Jackson Labs was a mouse factory. They supplied the little white lab mice for every lab in the county. And get this. The TV Academy revokes Andrew Cuomo's Emmy amid scandal resignation. They're eating their own. I love it when they eat their own. It's interesting. I can't say I'd ever thought about where labs get their mice, as well as pet stores and such. They breed them. I would imagine there's mice farms. There's worm farms. Why wouldn't there be a mouse farm? Hours after leaving office, Governor Cuomo suffered another defeat on Tuesday, losing the special Emmy Award he received last year for his daily televised briefings of the sniffles. The one that he loved, the one that he touted, the one that he probably fondled, and you know he rubbed those titties. You know he rubbed them. He probably sniffed it a few times. The International Academy of Television Arts and Sciences said in a statement that given Cuomo's resignation amid a torrent of sexual harassment allegations, it was taking away the prize and removing any reference to him in its official materials. We erased your fucking ass, is what they said. A message-seeking comment was left with Cuomo's lawyer. Yeah, I doubt they're ever going to get back to it. Cuomo left office at 12 a.m. on Tuesday, so he gone. 2 weeks after he announced he would resign. All right, so this is a homeowner in Flagstaff that's fed up with the flooding speaking out. I kind of did
on our own in this, and there's got to be some sort of breaking point. You know, at what point will there be assistance? Will there be answers? Because right now we're not getting those.
Some families in Flagstaff, like that mother you just heard, have really had enough after repeated flooding. They're looking for help to fix the destruction caused by rain from the museum fire burn scar.
So much flooding. Well, today we are getting a better look at how the state is stepping up to help the hardest hit areas recover. Kiara Hay is in the newsroom, and some homeowners say they're simply not satisfied.
Yeah, all throughout the meeting today, community leaders from Flagstaff and Coconino County say they have been preparing for flooding since the museum fire in 2019, dumping millions into trying to prevent floods. But we've already seen much more rain this monsoon than they were expecting.
These are stairs. That's how we get into the house.
Anissa Doughton says finally there's no rain. It's been less than a week since the last.
Can I just take a moment here? Arizona, pretty much all states really. Oh, it's so dry. Oh, we're fire danger, fire danger, fire danger. And then we get rain. Oh, it's so much water. Oh no, we're flooding. My God, is there ever anything good that happens? I fucking love the rain. Anyway, apparently they were fighting, fires or whatever, and that caused more flooding issues.
Storm flooded her street and damaged her home. The 5-day dry spell is allowing for repairs, but she isn't holding her breath.
It happened, and then it happened again, and then it happened again, and now it's happened again. And I think knowing that there's the potential for floodwaters to come through anytime we get rain on the burn scar, it just wears on us.
The museum fire in 2019 left behind a burn scar, making way for flooding in an area that was not previously listed as a FEMA flood zone.
Wow.
The Coconino County Board of Supervisors and the Flagstaff City Council met virtually today to discuss the damage done to the community and the plan to fix it up. Officials say combined, the county and city spent over $5 million in mitigation efforts to prevent flood damage.
Allowed that fire to
but the
burn.
rain so far this season
You
was
should be
greater than
deforesting
anticipated. Right now, leaders are offering immediate assistance
we don't want to cut
food
down a
and
tree.
shelter, but there are question marks when it comes to long-term aid and help for people who live and own businesses in the city.
It almost sounds like white noise to us at this point.
Yeah, it's super loud in my ears.
It doesn't necessarily matter what's been done, because as a homeowner and as a neighborhood, what we know is it's not enough.
Well, right now, leaders are focused on legislation to deal with long-term mitigation.
There we go. Another good one from the Discord. These are the Discord stories, everybody. If you have a story and you're on my Discord, definitely check out my story suggestions tab. And I do try to get to those when I can. A jail in Washington state is offering ramen noodles as an incentive to encourage inmates to get their sniffle shots. Ramen noodles? Oh, bruh, I could go for some of that. A jail in Washington state is offering inmates, why is it Washington? Ramen noodles as an incentive to get their shots. Benton County Jail, located in Kennewick, Washington, has been giving out the beloved commissary item to those who sign up for their first jab in a program called Soups for Shots. The Olympian reported, because it's a popular food item. A poster advertising the program says participants get 10 free, 10 whole ones for one shot. 10. That's like $6. They're giving them $6 worth of ramen noodles. Since corrections officers started the program at the beginning of August, 900 ramen noodle packets have been distributed to 90 inmates, according to Scott something. Wow. We are doing everything we can to incentivize the shot, and we're getting an outstanding response. Research shows that prisoners were more likely to contract the sniffles behind bars. Well, you can't really social distance. This jail is not the only facility to offer incentives to its inmate population. In Alabama, prison inmates can receive $5 whole in commissary credits if they get the shot. Well, technically, I think the ramen noodles are a better deal. And Seguin County Jail in Wichita, Kansas has been offering $10 worth of commissary items to encourage it. Well, see, even that's double the last one. The goal is to mitigate the sniffles in the jail as much as possible. It's a correctional environment, they told the news. We're running at capacity or more above capacity today on inmates, and so social distancing is very difficult to do in correctional environment. I would imagine. Inmates get to reject the shot. Yeah, I didn't know that either, man. Stepson's ex-wife worked at that place for a year. She said they had to put on surgical suits with masks and face shields when feeding them or clean the cages as they was doing to protect the mice. They wore that stuff to protect the mice and not themselves from the mice? Holy crap. So prisoners get more freedom than us. A lot of us on the other side. Well, yeah. They also get ramen noodles. I ain't even gonna lie, bro. If I was in jail and all I was eating was prison food and I had a chance to get 10 packets of ramen, I used to live on ramen. I've literally had it breakfast, lunch, and dinner for months at a time because it was the only thing I could afford. And I start missing it. I haven't had it in a long time though. Middle school teachers are under investigation after saying it would be lucky if unshotted people die. A middle school teacher in Washington State, another story in Washington, is under investigation after she reportedly expressed on social media that America would be lucky if the unvaccinated people are denied health care and die from the sniffles. The teacher, who reportedly works at Y East Middle School in Vancouver, Washington, boasted on Facebook recently that she is ready to say, "Let them die," referring to the unshotted people. "I am ready to say, let them die. You made your choice not to get your shot for any reason other than the doctor's note. You shouldn't be allowed health care." In fact, Riddle Girl went to a thing to get her test, and apparently they were talking about how pretty soon we're not even going to let you in the building if you don't have your shot. "You are like the brats in class that ruin it for everyone," the post said. Somebody was the goody two-shoes in school. When one person responded to the post expressing discomfort and wishing ill on the willingly ignorant, the teacher doubled down, suggesting that allowing unshotted people to die would also solve the problem of the people who vote the wrong way. "I have no problem with that. If we're lucky, we can cut out 30% of the population that votes the wrong way," the teacher responded. "Plus, less people using up all our resources. Let the Hunger Games begin." According to the teachers, deleted her Facebook account after her post began circulating among the local parents. However, preserved a screenshot of the shocking comments. This news station did. Evergreen Public School confirmed human resources in conducting an investigation into the matter. Evergreen Public Schools takes health and safety of our students very seriously. The district is aware of one of our employees posted a message regarding sniffle shots statuses on her personal Facebook page account while on summer break, a spokesman said. "It is being handled by our Human Resources Department in accordance with district policies and procedures. As it was a personal matter, we cannot provide you with any more specific information." This is another reason why you should never have a fucking Facebook account, especially a personal one. I can get it if you're trying to do it for a business or something like that, but for a personal one, if you got a job where you can get fired, you can't. You definitely don't have freedom of speech then, because they're always checking out your social media. Pushing unshotted people punishing them by withholding medical care appears to be gaining popularity among some Americans, and it definitely is. It definitely is. There are a lot of people who are very okay with it if you're denied health care because you didn't want to get the shot. "Oh, you have a heart attack? I'm sorry, you're not allowed in. You didn't get the shot. Do you want the shot while you're dying?" Alabama physician Dr. Jason Valentine, who works at Mobile's Diagnosis and Medical Clinic Infirmary Health, made headlines recently after declaring he will no longer treat anyone who hasn't gotten the shot. Meanwhile, 75 doctors in South Florida staged a protest Monday over unshotted sniffle patients. So you have doctors protesting out in the streets now, denying sick people health care because they are unshotted and have contracted the sniffles, likely violates the Emergency Medical Treatment and Labor Act.
This is why.
Just moments ago, more than 75 doctors staged a walkout to protest the number of COVID patients coming to the hospitals who have not been vaccinated. The thing, let's bring in Carrie Sanders, because Carrie, you're in Palm Beach Gardens, Florida, at this doctor's walkout. Carrie, and I know the area very well. What Americans don't understand is for every unvaccinated person that's filling up an ICU bed, that...
I'm done with that already. And lastly, young scientists caught in the crossfire over sniffle origins. This one was suggested to me by Irish USMC vet in the suggestion news stories in my Discord. In the early days, scientists reported a reassuring trait in the new sniffles. It appeared to be very stable. It was not mutating very rapidly, making it an easy target for treatments and shots. At the time, the slow mutation rate struck one young scientist as odd. That really made my ears perk up, said Alian Chan, a postdoctoral fellow at the Chan wondered whether the new sniffle was somehow pre-adapted to thrive in humans before the outbreak even started. By the time the SARS-CoV-2 virus was detected in Wuhan in late 2019, it looked like it had already picked up mutations it needed to be very good at spreading among humans. It was already ready to go. The hypothesis, widely disputed by other scientists, was the foundation for an explosive paper posted online in May 2020, in which Chan and her colleagues questioned the prevailing consensus that the lethal sniffle had naturally spilled over to humans from bats and an intermediate host animal. The question she helped put on the table has not gone away. In late May, President Biden, dissatisfied by an unequivocal report they had received on the subject, asked U.S. intelligence services to dig deeper into the origins question. The new report is due out any day now. The last year paper, Chan and her colleagues speculated that perhaps the sniffle had crossed over to humans and been circulating undetected for months while accumulating mutations. Perhaps they say the sniffle was already well adapted to humans while in bats or some other animal, or maybe it adapted to humans while being studied in a lab and accidentally leaked out. Chan soon found herself in the middle of a maelstrom. An article in the Mail on Sunday, a British tabloid, ran with the headline, "Sniffle did not come from animals in the Wuhan wet market." Many senior sniffle experts criticized her work and dismissed it out of hand, saying she did not have the expertise to speak on the subject, that she was maligning their speciality, and that her statements would alienate China, hampering any future investigations. Well, nowadays, you just have to assert your power, right? Well, it's that way because I say it is. I mean, if we can have the director of the CDC now able to just do whatever they want, and that other person in, what was it, Mississippi, just, hey, you're all going to jail if you, well, fuck it. I'm going to start laying down the fucking law. You know what I mean? Oh, you're all right, Anonymous. That's all good. These are top dollar lab mice. Prisoners get their teeth fixed for free, gender transitions, and so much more. That's not affordable to veterans. Yeah, I know. Well, there you go. If you're a vet and you're having a problem with the VA, get arrested. Go to jail. How much for one mouse? Come on. Come on, man. You don't know that, Gerald? I need to know. These mice are used to test drugs to see if they might cause cancer, stuff like that. Or how about the mice that they grow like human parts on, like the ear? Have you ever seen the mouse with the human ear on its back? That shit was gross. Look up mRNA shot on mice. None did even okay. Caused blood clots, tumors, HIV symptoms, and death. Wow. Yeah. All right. I'll copy that. I'll paste that into something. First one that comes up. I don't even know. Immune responses induced by mRNA sniffles in mice, monkeys, and humans. That's a long fucking article. Definitely not on this program, but right, rabies, influenza. Wow, that goes on. Lay it, damn it. Wait, what's going on? Lay it, what? Lay it, damn it. Welcome 1337ABIX. Yeah, pretty much. If you're talking about getting veterans to get arrested for their health care. Anyway, that's all I got for you guys this evening. I know it went a little bit late. Thank you for being here. We got a little bit of an uptick. Y'all know my descriptions below, right? If you don't know the descriptions below, if you're not on YouTube, you're not going to see them. But if you're on YouTube, there's descriptions below here. There's all the causes I believe in and support. The PH Association is pulmonary hypertension. That is a disease that I currently live with and am dying of slowly. It's being treated. You know, You know, Big Pharma, they don't want to cure it because they're making $18,000 a month on my ass every single month. I'm not paying that, and that's good because they know that you couldn't pay that, right? So there's a whole scheme here. They make it so ridiculously expensive. Now, if I bought it personally myself, it probably wouldn't be that expensive. Maybe. I've never looked into it. But I know other drugs are like that. They have two different prices. One for the customer who's buying it out of pocket and one for the insurance company, which the one for the insurance company is always more expensive. Why is that? Because the insurance company will just pay it. If anybody had pulmonary hypertension and had to spend $18,000 a month on medication, nobody would take it. So they know they wouldn't make any money. So they make sure that all the insurance companies will pay it. And that's how they make their money. $18,000 a month. And there's not a lot of people with pulmonary hypertension, right? It's a very rare disease. But there's enough that $18,000 a month is going to make you a little bit of money. And there's a reason why they'll never get checked on that. Look up Jackson Labs. Okay. Other than that, we have all the with the causes I believe in and support. We have the GOA. We have ProjectRecover.org, which is a great organization. And my favorite is Irish USMC Vet. Has got a GoFundMe set up called Rally Point Irish, where he's trying to help veterans learn a new skill to get them back into the workforce. Meanwhile, for free to charge to them, I think. Yeah, because they work for it pretty much. So I donate 50% of all income that this channel produces, including this channel, Poison Stinger 2. But both channels are demonetized. This one just never got monetized. And the other one got demonetized. So any donations to this channel, just know 50% goes to Rally Point Irish. Other than that, all the different places to follow me, which you're already probably doing since you're on my secondary channel. And that's it. Until I see you tomorrow, try to stay safe out there, man. Just say no. That's a good shirt, too. Just say no. I will see you then tomorrow. Until then, make sure to keep your family close. Watch out for that government. Try to live as free as you can. Just say no. I'll see you tomorrow. Peace.